Because all things are connected, it is logical to touch upon the idea of astrology. Because when people think of all things being connected, what they often think of is astrology and the impact that such has upon their individual lives. And sometimes they are more prone to think of such in terms of divination or predicting the future. So let's put things straight at the very beginning. Astrology does not predict your future. Astrology can be considered like a giant biorhythm, and it can be said that it will show tendencies that you may have because of the environmental influences at the time, how you may tend to respond, how you may respond emotionally, mentally, and physically to some extent. But what it will not do is show you what you must do, have to do. It won't even show you what you can do necessarily. What it will show you is which way the wind is blowing at the time, which way the spiritual wind, so to speak, is blowing at the time. And we use spiritual very loosely in this instance. So if you know the astrological information that is available, when you make a decision, you can make a decision informed with the astrological influences. That is to say, if your father were to walk into the room right now and be watching over your shoulder, you might act differently than you would if he was not standing there. And in some instances, the change in behavior could result in a very important change in your life. Because sometimes simply the way you respond to a person can make a huge difference. So think of astrology in much the same way. A planet walks into the room and you know it is there, you can act differently. And that change in the way you act may change the interactions and the results. It will at least impact your interactions and results. So this is not just some arbitrary. It is important to know the major influences in your life and to know how the major energies are flowing. But it does not determine your life. It is not a life prophecy. It is not a prediction. This astrology that is put out in newspapers and on the internet, the weekly horoscopes given so that all of the people reading them, oh, I'm going to meet someone this week, or oh, I'm going to do this week. These are little more than fancy cold readings. These are really a disservice. No. They're not predicting your future, and they may even be holding you back because you may be paying attention to these things and not truly going with the flow. You hear people once in a while say, go with the flow. Well, that is what astrology is all about. Go with the flow. Astrology simply shows you the flow so you can go with the current instead of rowing against the current and getting nowhere.